Hi, my name is Sarah McCormick, and I am a high school Spanish teacher, and I currently work at Belvedere High School in Belvedere, Illinois. I've been teaching for 3 years. This will be my second year at Belvedere that's coming up, and I'm teaching Spanish 2 and Spanish 1 this year. About 50% of my students are native Spanish speakers, so I have a wide variety of different levels coming into each of the classes. The tool that I decided to evaluate will help me work with all those differences very easily, I believe. The tool I chose to evaluate is studyspanish.com, and what it is a giant database basically of all of the grammar related to Spanish that you could ever want to know about. It starts from beginner levels and it goes all the way to advanced, and in each level there are different subsets of information. So you can pick a very basic concept and click on the tab, and then it'll have a drop down menu of about 10 different things you can do with that topic. Ranging from just an instructional grammar guide to actual practice and then eventually assessments with that topic. The topics do cover almost every single aspect of Spanish grammar, and it does cover every aspect that is covered in a traditional school setting. So this aligns very well with the curriculum covered in a traditional Spanish 1 through 4 or Spanish 1 through AP course list. Aside from the grammar explanations and then grammar assessments that each level lets you choose, there are a variety of other different tools available with the website. So students can explore areas of interest or areas of struggle that they're working on. For example, there's a pronunciation area, so basic students can kind of really master that on their own in the beginning. There's also a vocabulary section that ranges from very basic to more advanced vocabulary available. One of my favorite features on the website is there is a tab called Features and Resources, and on that tab it lets students kind of explore what they can do with the language beyond just using it in a grammatically correct way. So there are study abroad opportunities, language classes, conversation classes, that type of thing, where students can really kind of find an interest and then explore it using what they've learned. So they're not just learning it to learn it, but they see through the resources ways that they can use it beyond the classroom. There's a free and also a paid version of the website. What I really like about the website is even though you do not have access to everything with the free version, you still can access almost everything. So for example, with the free version, if I click on a tab and I want to know about the present tense, it'll explain the present tense to both the free and the paid version, and then it will give assessments to both versions. What the paid version gets that the free does not is just additional assessments. So even if you're not paying for the full version of the site, you're still getting exposed to the same types of things, and you still get the practice at all the different levels that the other version gets. Another feature that's really very good about this is even with the free version, you can sign up and create an account. And as a teacher, I can create an account and send out a link to my students, and then my students can link up with me on the website. All of this is for free, and I can monitor their progress with the website. So I can direct them to where I want them to go. If I want them to focus on a certain aspect or area, I will do that when they link with me, and then it'll actually record for me how they're doing, who's doing, what, and how the students are progressing. So with both versions, the free and paid, that's an option. The only thing that you're missing with the free version is just those additional assessments that I kind of talked about. I chose to evaluate this product because it's something that I have used in the past when I've taken my kids to the computer lab, and I've had them kind of use the grammar guides just to reinforce an idea, and then I'll move them to an activity at a different website. And I really wanted to look at this and see, was I missing something from the website? Was I able to get the most out of it? And I really wanted just to kind of see the full features of the product. I've used this with students in my classroom and then students that I've tutored, and I've kind of used it more as a reference tool, and I wanted to see if it could be used as something more than just a reference, if it could be used as something to kind of center around. What I learned was that I was not taking full advantage of what was available on the site. So I had used it for references when really it could be used as a tool on its own almost. So I could have students after I give a lecture go and use this website to kind of reinforce what I told them and then to practice at their own pace. So what I really liked is that it supplemented my instruction, but it also could be used to replace instruction if necessary. So a student who, for example, I had a student who was out on medical for about 3 months last year. I could actually, had I known, linked her with what I was doing in class and had her follow along with us. She wouldn't have gotten everything in terms of vocabulary, but she would have been able to stay with us and stay on track in terms of grammar if I directed her in the right places. The biggest thing that I learned was that free subscription option, which does allow me to follow my students and see how they're doing. And then I really kind of got a chance to explore those external links, and I think that's something that we can definitely use and take advantage of this coming year. All that extra information regarding how to use Spanish and why to use Spanish in one location, I think, is a really great feature of this product. Another thing I really like is the pronunciation tools. When I teach Spanish 1, you have some students that will catch on really quick to pronunciation and then students that will struggle with it. Especially in my setting where I have a mix of about half native speaker and half non-native speaker. Pronunciation is something that I wouldn't necessarily have to spend so much time on in class with this tool. So those students that already know how to speak, it wouldn't be something that bored them. It'd be something that I could go and kind of focus on with the other students that need the extra help. The product was designed by a team of educators. There are 6 to 8 people working on this that kind of keep up with it and update it and put it together. And the way that it's designed is it follows the natural course of how you would teach a class in a school setting. So I had mentioned with my student I could have her kind of follow us. It's the same kind of layout. So the basic starting points that you'll see in a classroom are the basic starting points that you'll see on this website. And through all of the exploration I did on the website, I did not see any noticeable errors in the guides or the assessments. So overall, very educational product, and it does a great job of really covering everything. After my exploration, I really do think this is an excellent website. All you need is access to a computer with internet connection. If your school doesn't have that, but students have that, it's something that you could do as an after-school activity, or it's something that you could do in school if you do have access to a lab. But what's great about it is that it can be accessed from anywhere with the internet connection, so if a student would like to do extra work on their own outside of class, this is a great website and tool for that. Another thing is the free accounts, one of my favorite parts of this, and I'm really excited I found out about that, so that you can really kind of see how your students are doing in a detailed and personal way. So individually tracking those students and being able to keep an eye on how they're progressing with the rest of the group. I think that is a great tool on this website. I plan to use the account feature and set that up at the beginning of the year and make this kind of a regular part of my classroom so that I can easily monitor what's happening in kind of an informal assessment way of keeping track of my students. I think also with my students, my seniors who kind of graduate earlier and are on a little bit different curriculum than the rest of us, I think what I'd really like to do is kind of show them through the external links, some of those activities, the things that they can do with the language after they leave the classroom. So those students who are getting ready to graduate can kind of look at their opportunities, and I'm hoping that through that I can get them to continue learning the language outside of my classroom. I highly recommend this to all language teachers and to all students who are learning Spanish. I think it is a great tool, and it's also a tool for anyone who wants to just start learning the language on their own. Because of the way that it's organized and set up, it's very user-friendly, and it does a great job of really fully covering all of the topics that are necessary to effectively communicating in Spanish. And that concludes my review of StudySpanish.com. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you all have a great school year.